What's up, everybody? Well, I got another Alienware m18 with a 7900M gameplay video for you guys today. And today, we're going to play ourselves some Monster Hunter Wilds, now that we can actually play and not just do benchmarks. Now, 1200p kind of sucked until we turned frame gen on, so I should have just sucked that up the first time and tried that, but... well, I think I did. Yeah, I did the second time after I updated drivers, that's right. At first I thought I didn't even get to try that for you guys, but nope, I remember now, I did redo all the things with the drivers. Never mind, stoner moment, completely forgot I did that. Anyway, so today we're actually gonna play, and hopefully 1440p will go a tiny bit better. But hey, I guess we'll have to wait until we get into the game to see. So why don't we go ahead, hop on in, and I'm just gonna do carbon copy of what I did on 1200p. So, to the game.
All right, we're gonna do 1440p now. We're basically just gonna copy what we did at 1200p. We're gonna start off just native with ray tracing, all that good stuff on, and including the high-res texture pack. I turned that on as soon as I was done with the really weak stuff. Although maybe I should have turned it on after I got done with the G15 Advantage too. But it's not like that thing was ever gonna do good with Ultra anyway. So, let us get into the game. All right, here we are in the game, and I'm not gonna lie, this thing is doing worse than at 1200p. I mean, it wasn't dropping down to 1 FPS at 1200p. So I don't know what the heck was up its butt for this, but this is awful. But I sucked it up and still made it to the same stopping area, I do believe. But even this gets decent FPS eventually. I'm pretty good at figuring out what works in a game. I mean, I test games out basically all the time on this channel. So I'm usually pretty good at making them work. I don't always show it in my videos, but after testing them all for you guys, I usually have a pretty good idea of what to go with when I go and actually want to play for real. So it's pretty nice, saves me a bunch of time. I'm like, oh, well, after concluding all this stuff on all these various systems, I'm gonna play on this one, so let's see. Oh, well, it seemed to run best with this concoction. All right, boom, let's go. And then right into gaming instead of sitting there, all right, how's this going? All right, how's this going? A lot of times I just go with Ultra and see how it goes, and if that doesn't work, bump it back to high, and usually that's good enough to say, all right, we're good. Sucks to have to drop settings on a 4090, but hey, it is what it is. I'd rather drop settings and suck it up than just get horrible frame rates and whatnot, and stutters and this, that, and the other thing. You know, graphics for me are never going to be worth giving up frame rates and stuff. Like me personally, I could not play like this. Now there's some people that could be like, oh no, that's not that bad. Although I don't know about the in-town thing. I don't know for too many people that want to play a game at 1 FPS frame drops, but like I said, I'm not everybody, so some people might play on potatoes that would be like, hell no, I wish my computer ran that good. I get a frame every half hour. So. Alright though. We got to our little stopping area, so why don't we go ahead, spin around for a second, and move on. Now we're going to turn on some FSR onto quality, but otherwise just leaving everything else exactly the same. So there we go. No frame gen yet. So far it hasn't gotten anywhere near enough FPS for us to ever turn that on yet. But if it ever does, I absolutely will test it. If it can't, we'll just not test it. But anyway, let's go see how it does with some FSR on quality. Alright, here we are, back in the game. Frame times are still pretty wonky, but let's see if it still completely like freezes up and drops to 1 FPS. As long as it doesn't do that, it's already doing infinitely better, as far as I'm concerned, even if it can't hit a constant 60 in town. Yeah, almost drops under 30 in some spots even, but hey, as long as it stays over 30, that's mostly good for most people. Not most people, but a lot of people. But I still stand by my original statements that I make, where most people that spend this much on this laptop would not want to play a game at these kinds of FPSs. But just for the people that would, I figured might as well do a bunch of different settings. But no, this does not seem very playable to me. I mean, with the frame rate, it wouldn't be the end of the world if the frame times weren't also being like, hey, I'm just going to be like... So, hopefully they come up with some fixes. But this is Capcom we're talking about, and they're using an engine that never was really designed for this kind of thing, so... just like Dragon Dogma 2, I'm not going to hold my breath. They at least made that game somewhat playable, from what I've seen. As long as you have a very powerful PC. It still doesn't really seem to do that great on mid-range and weak systems. And besides, as long as the people on the mid-range and weak systems are you know, wanting realistic stuff. Most of them aren't sitting there thinking, I should be able to play this game completely maxed out, ultra 4K, and get 240 FPS. No, they just want, like, on Allies and stuff, most people just want, like, medium, low, 30, 40 FPS. And then mid-range people are just like, hey, I'll go with basically middle-range graphics, do 1080p, and sometimes even rely on FSR. And then just have mid graphics, maybe high textures, something like that. Oh, hello. Okay, well that was rather terrifying, but anyway, let's go ahead and move on. All right, now we can go ahead and move on over to a little bit of some just high, I think we did. All right, no. I remember what we did. Wrong. We turned off ray tracing. We're going to do ultra with no ray tracing, just native and with FSR. Then we move on to high. That's what we did. I ended up trying a lot more stuff than I remembered in here. But anyway, to the game. Well, now here we go. We're in town, native, no ray tracing. Yeah, still dropping down to 23, 22 FPS in town, though. Now, I admit, we're moving the camera around like a lunatic. Most people are not going to play like that, but I'm just doing that because some people might be, oh, wait, hold on, I got to go back over that way. And then, yeah, they might drop all the way to 20, like, oh, what the hell, that's horrible. So it's not completely unrealistic to make that kind of movement. It's just not going to be the kind of movement you make constantly, all the time. But this is just a demo of what to expect with this kind of system. Although it seems like I've been reading a lot of people don't or can't buy it. Like it's not even available for sale anymore. So, I mean, if that's the case, I mean, do you guys want me to not make videos on it anymore? I don't really want to make videos on a system that nobody can buy. Although then I'd feel bad for the people that did buy the system, even if there's only like 10 of you. I mean, I don't mind making videos for 10 people. I mean, shit, when I first started out, I was making videos for like 20 people, so I'm not going to just alienate 10 people, but I figured I'd leave it up to you guys. I could always replace that laptop, put the G15 Advantage back over there, and then just put that one in storage and just take it to friends' houses when I travel, what have you. And then maybe, or just leave the G15 Advantage where it is and maybe go make a mid-range computer. And go make it like out of spare parts and just do like a little challenge or something. You know, see if I can see how good of a computer I can make for $1,000. And that includes little stuff like Windows, fans, every little conceivable thing, tax. The only thing wouldn't include is monitors, peripherals, and all that stuff, because that's all going to be. Some people might have some of that stuff laying around, you know. But anyway, let's spin around. Yep, still pretty garbage, and let's move on. All right. Here we go. Now we're going to turn on a little FSR onto quality. Same old high textures and all that good stuff. Just no ray tracing still. We already did that. That's done. It surprisingly doesn't really seem to add that much more. It doesn't seem like it's that hard on the laptop to have ray tracing on, really. It seems to be more of those damn high texture pack things, more than anything. All right, here we are. Now we're in the game. No ray tracing, but quality FSR, but maxed out game. And it looks like we still drop into the 20s and whatnot. Or at least into the 30s. Maybe not the 20s now, but definitely into the 30s. So, not a constant 60 in town, but that's not easy to do on pretty much anything. It seems like towns make everything fall to a crawl. Well, the same thing was true for Dragon's Dogma, too. I never played the first one much. I went and bought it and tried it out a little bit, but I think I maybe played both about equally, but I didn't got too far in either one of them. I really wanted to, but then I didn't want to do it until I saw if 2 was going to get, patched and actually be playable. And it looks like it's playable enough. I can probably get by on it with like a 5090 and my 9800X 3D. But I just figured I'd wait on games like that. I don't have to play a game right then and there. That's because I've got so many other games I could play. Even if they're a couple years old, I don't care. I've got like 600 plus games in my Steam library. The plus is barely any. It's like 612 or something like that, but still. It's better than saying 500 or something, because it's still 600, even if it is only like 612. And that's just Steam. I think I've still got like 400 or something on Epic. Pretty much just all freebies. But there was a couple good games in the freebies. Most of the time it's just a bunch of indie games that I'm not that interested in, but I'm like, yeah, who knows? Even though it doesn't look that interesting, you never know. Might get bored and want to try it out one day, and it's free, so why the hell not? Although I'm sure they're like taking my email and my data and everything else and be like, mwah, or sell it to everybody. And that's why stuff's free. Just a guess. Alright, spin around a little bit, and we move on. Alright, we're keeping all this stuff the same. And then we're going to go down to high, because I still didn't think it got good enough FPS to try frame gen yet. But who knows, maybe high will finally get us close enough. As long as I get like at least 60-ish. But I prefer 80 to 100, but we'll see what we get. If we get close enough, I'll give it a shot. If not, I'm just going to say because it's not going to be worth it otherwise. Alright, now here we are in the game. And it seems like we still can't get a constant 60 in town, but so far this is the best we've done. We dropped into the 50s. And maybe, was it 47 for a split second there? But other than that, we're doing pretty good compared to what we were doing before. But like I said, it's really hard to maintain 60 in town. And this is just a little town. I'm assuming there's ones that are even bigger than this later on. Alright. Spinning the camera around a little bit just to see lag and whatnot, and we move on. Alright, here we go. Keeping that stuff the same. Now we will try frame gen. I think it got pretty good enough FPS to at least warrant trying it. In fact, who knows? It might be the savior like it was on 1200p. But anyway, I guess let's go ahead and go find out. Alright, let's get some frame gen gameplay now. And it barely still stayed above 60 fake FPS, so yeah. It's still a problem in town, but it definitely feels a lot better in town with this on than it does without it. I can at least attest to that. But it still felt like it chugged when it did that. It's not like it was a perfect solution for it or anything. But let's leave town now and go see what it's like outside, where people are going to spend most of their time hunting monsters and what have you. Alright, now for the settings I would play at if I only had this thing. And this is how I would play. Alright, here we are in the game. The settings I'd run. As you saw, it still drops under 60 even though we got frame gen on. Just in some spots. Most of the time you're fine, but there's just certain spots in this game that certain PCs just do not like. But anyway, let's go hop on out of the city and see what it's like where people are going to spend more of their time. Not that that excuses the in-town performance by any means, but luckily, most people aren't going to spend too much time there. Alright, so just like last time, we'll run around for a lot longer, just to make sure there's no crashes, ginormous stutters, or anything like that. Well, I will say, it did have a couple more little micro stutters than it did at 1200p, I would say. Usually it's polar opposite, that's why I'm kind of impressed. Usually 1200p is the one that's like overheating the processor and running like garbage and what have you. Not that this is complete garbage or anything, but sucks that we have to rely on frame gen. But hey, at least we have a tool that lets us get acceptable frame times and stuff. See, they're still like that. I don't think 1200p did stuff like that. You gotta just say no to stale smoke. Honestly, I'm surprised I'm not completely electrocuted right now. I kind of figured that's exactly what would happen right there. But this actually kind of looks like a pretty good spot for us to stop and go ahead and move on to some camera.
So now let's get some camera recorded gameplay. I don't know what the heck was going on over here. Oh, like electrified. That's definitely pretty interesting. Looks like the kind of thing like if I got off this thing, I would get electrocuted to death. Not gonna lie, for a second I thought that was a giant dinosaur monster. Guess I can't go that way. Invisible walls. Just can't go anywhere that way. That's okay. Hey, it's that thing again. Heck yeah, we got some bird. Screw you. I think that's my first step. Well, whatever. Not a big deal. It was bound to happen sooner or later. Can't even see my life with the stupid stats up there. But why don't we go ahead and go wrap this video on up? Well, alright guys, that's a wrap from Monster Hunter Wild on the Alienware m18 with a 7900M. And we definitely got it to be pretty playable, but no matter what, it gets a lot more stutters at 1440p. Usually it's the other way around, but not in this game. But still playable, but the game definitely needs way more optimization. I still would not be super happy with the stutters and stuff. I could still play, no problem, don't get me wrong, but I do not like the little stutters here and there. So hopefully they can work those out, but if I remember correctly, Dragon's Dogma still has little stutters here and there. So this one probably won't ever get rid of them completely, but hopefully it can still get a little bit better. Just came out after all. So we'll have to wait and see. If it gets a huge patch where the performance improves greatly, I will come back and revisit the game, of course. But I'm sure most people are probably all tired of me doing Monster Hunter videos anyway. But I'm still having fun messing around with it. I don't know what the hell I'm doing with it whatsoever, but once I actually start playing the game, I'm sure I can learn. But anyway, that's all I got for you guys for this particular video. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, because I sure as hell enjoyed making it for you guys. And until the next video, peace out, guys.